Okay, so today we're going super deep on a really fascinating conversation with Dr. Sana Sojan.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and she's a doctor, philanthropist, entrepreneur, artist, you name it, she does it.
Multi-talented, huh?
Exactly. And she recently had this awesome interview on Sheen Garib's YouTube channel, which you know I love.
Yeah, I know you've been raving about it.
Oh yeah, totally inspiring. And our goal today is to pull out all the best parts, like her advice on switching careers, her thoughts on money and happiness, all that good stuff. Basically giving our listeners like the cheat sheet to her wisdom, you know?
I love that, like a crash course in Dr. Hazajian's philosophy.
Right. So let's just jump right in. One of the first things that struck me about her is, well, her family. It's got something like 36 doctors.
Wow. That's a whole medical dynasty.
Yeah, and so growing up in the Indian diaspora, obviously medicine was a huge deal. She even talks about how her dad, also a successful doctor, was a big inspiration for her. And it wasn't just the job itself, but the way he approached it.
So it sounds like he was a really positive role model, someone who clearly loved his work.
Totally. And you can see that influence in her own journey. Even back in college, she used her scholarship money not just for herself, but to help patients cover their treatment and lab fees.
Whoa, hold on. She was using scholarship money to help other people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. Even from the beginning, she was all about helping others, not just focused on getting ahead herself.
That's pretty incredible. Shows you that her values were there from the very start.
Absolutely. Then she moved to Dubai, which, you know, you picture all the glitz and glam.
Yeah, high-rises, luxury cars, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. But even there, she immediately noticed that there were still needs in the community that she felt compelled to address.
I think that's such a powerful point. It's so easy to assume that places like Dubai don't have real struggles.
Right. But she shows that even in seemingly wealthy environments, there's always a way to contribute.
So like a challenge to look beyond the surface and really see the needs around you.
Totally. And that awareness led her to start working with thalassemia patients. And what's really interesting is that she didn't just focus on donating money.
Which is what most people really do.
Yeah, but she felt it was about giving time and real support. She actually organized art events and classes and awareness campaigns, working with this amazing doctor named Maria Matar.
Okay, so she took a much more hands-on, community-focused approach.
Exactly. She was using her skills and interests to make a difference, you know, not just throwing money at the problem.
That's a much more sustainable kind of philanthropy.
Yeah.
Empowering people and raising awareness.
Totally. And you know how she got involved with the Danube Welfare Center?
Tell me, I'm curious.
Her dad basically called her up while she was on a cruise getting her makeup done.
Talk about a life-changing phone call.
Right. And the funny thing is, she'd already put together a team in Dubai to help register blue-collar workers for educational opportunities.
So she was already on the same wavelength as the welfare center without even knowing it.
Exactly. It's like her intuition or something. And the welfare center's focus on education was a huge passion for their chairman, so it was a perfect fit.
I love that. It's like the universe was conspiring to bring them together.
Totally. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this deep dive, shall we?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Dr. Sojan has had this really interesting career journey, you know, from medicine to business and all these different things. And her view on navigating those transitions is super cool. She compares women to the Indian goddess Devi, who has 10 hands, each representing a different capability.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It's like saying women are inherently multifaceted and capable.
Exactly. So it's not about feeling overwhelmed by wearing many hats. It's about recognizing your strength and versatility.
Right, like embracing all those different aspects of yourself.
And she's big on having a bucket list, but without any strict timelines attached to it. It's all about keeping your options open and not feeling limited.
Yeah, I can see how that would be really freeing. No pressure to achieve everything by a certain age.
Exactly. Now, one of her major career shifts was made possible because of her MBA in healthcare services.
Ah, so she went back to school to gain new skills.
Yeah, and it actually helped her launch the healthcare division within Danube, which includes American Aesthetics. And she calls American Aesthetics a happiness center.
I love that. It reframes the whole idea of cosmetic procedures.
Right. It's not just about looks. It's about helping people feel good about themselves.
So it's more holistic, focusing on overall well-being.
Exactly. And she even challenges us to question why we put limits on our careers. Like, why do we assume we can only do one thing?
It's like she's saying, break out of the box and explore all your passions.
Totally. Now, I know you're curious about her daily life.
Oh, absolutely. How does she manage it all?
Well, she's a big believer in organization. She actually plans out her entire day the night before.
Oh, wow. So she's super structured.
Yeah, she uses her calendar religiously. Her mornings are all about family time. She wakes up her kids, has breakfast with them, and her husband, Adele, and other family members who live with them.
So even with her busy schedule, family comes first.
Absolutely. Then she hits the gym and heads to work. And by 5:30 p.m., she's back home, focusing on her kids.
She makes it a point to be present with her children, even with all her other responsibilities.
Yeah, quality time is really important to her. And then she often has social events after her kids go to bed.
So it's like she has different compartments for each part of her life so she can fully focus on each one.
Exactly. And she talks about how important it is to be present in each moment, whether she's being a mom, a businesswoman, or, an artist.
That's so mindful, not letting the different roles bleed into each other.
Right. And she even reframes things. Like instead of saying, I have to do this, she says, I get to do this.
Okay, that's a serious mindset shift, turning obligations into opportunities.
Totally. And when it comes to leadership, she learned a lot from Razan and Adele Sijan. She says her style is empathetic, but she can be firm when she needs to be.
So like a balance of compassion and authority.
Yeah, and she's all about regular team meetings, setting achievable goals, talking through potential roadblocks, and finding solutions together.
Sounds like a very collaborative approach, making everyone feel heard.
Exactly. Now, she does mention this 3-chance role she has for underperforming team members.
Interesting. Is that like a warning system?
Kind of, but she acknowledges that in today's business world, people are often let go much faster.
Yeah, the corporate world can be pretty ruthless.
But she leans towards giving people more chances, trying to understand why they're not performing well.
So it's not just about cutting people loose, it's about trying to help them improve.
Yeah, and she's also a big believer in amazing customer service.
Which is key for any successful business, right? Keeping the clients happy.
Totally. Now, becoming a mother has really shaped her leadership style.
In what way?
She says it's given her a deeper understanding of people in general. It's like motherhood has boosted her empathy, so she can connect with her team on a much deeper level.
That makes sense. It's probably made her more aware of the challenges working moms face too.
Exactly. Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about her relationship with money. She calls herself very Sufi and a monk who did not sell her Ferrari.
Wow, that's a really interesting way to put it. Like, she appreciates wealth, but it doesn't define her.
Yeah, for her, inner peace is more important than material possessions. But she does acknowledge that money is important, just not at the expense of your health or family.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Exactly. And she points out that after a certain point, more money doesn't really make you happier.
Which is something a lot of people struggle to realize,
Oh, yeah, for sure. She also really admires her father-in-law and husband, for their hard work and dedication.
Makes sense coming from a family of successful entrepreneurs.
But it's not just about the money for them either. They're also super dedicated to their relationships in community. She compares their consistent effort to the sun, always shining and giving life.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Right. Okay, so some key lessons she's learned from the family business. Communicating the right way at the right time. Apparently that's super important.
Oh yeah, communication is key in any relationship, especially in a family business where things can get complicated.
Exactly. And dedicating time to all your relationships. Clients, family, friends, your team, everybody.
So it's about nurturing those connections and not letting them fall by the wayside.
Totally. Now, when she talks about her own happiness, she usually rates it as a 10 and above.
Wow, she sounds like a very positive person.
She is, but she also acknowledges that she has tough days like everyone else. And when it comes to problems, she uses this very methodical approach.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
It's like how a doctor would approach a patient, right? Diagnose the problem, classify it, and figure out the next steps.
So it's a very logical, analytical way of dealing with things.
Exactly. And she even tells the story about an emergency with her father, where she had to stay calm and think clearly under pressure.
That's when those skills really come in handy, right?
For sure. And she views emotions as muscles that you have to train.
So the more you practice controlling them, the stronger you get.
Right. But she also stresses the importance of being understanding without becoming a doormat.
Right. So it's not about letting people walk all over you.
Exactly. Okay, are you ready for a really mind-blowing concept?
Hit me with it.
She talks about the selfishness of charity and love.
What? Selfishness? How does that work?
She basically says that giving to others makes you feel good. So it creates this happiness quotient that spreads outward and inspires more kindness and joy.
So it's like a positive ripple effect.
Exactly. And you know what else is cool? She has this whole thing about facing challenges head on, like a bison facing a snowstorm.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that.
She believes that tackling problems directly is way better than trying to avoid them. Like, you get through it faster and stronger.
It's like saying, lean into the discomfort and you'll come out the other side.
Yeah, I love that. And you know who she chose to celebrate as a woman who's impacted her life? One of her nannies.
Really? That's unexpected, but really heartwarming.
Right. She talked about how amazing this nanny is with her kids, how dedicated she is as a team player, and how she manages her own family remotely while still being so supportive.
It shows how much she values the people who help her, no matter what their role is.
Exactly. And to wrap things up, Dr. Sajan emphasizes how important it is to keep your dreams alive, keep adding things to your bucket list, and always strive for more. She really believes in becoming larger than life.
So it's about continuous growth and striving for something bigger than yourself.
Totally. And right now, she's super focused on empowering others and actually working towards building a school for underprivileged children.
That's amazing. It's like she's coming full circle from helping individual patients to impacting entire communities.
It is. And honestly, her story is just so inspiring. It makes you want to rethink your own bucket list and how you approach your daily life, you know?
It definitely does. I think we can all learn a lot from her about empathetic leadership and finding that balance between professional success and personal well-being.
For sure. And maybe this will inspire some of our listeners to check out the full interview on Sheen Gerb's channel, or even look into Dr. Sajan's work. There's so much to learn from her.
Definitely. It's been great diving deep into her story.
Absolutely. And with that, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.